Grimcast Manila is a podcast of creepy stories from around the metro. I'm your scaredy cat host, Antoinette, and I love a good ghost story. Tonight, we're talking to Dionne, a graphic designer and food stylist with a penchant for rescuing cats. She's here to talk about her unusual childhood and a couple of other creepy things. Hey, Dionne, thanks for joining me.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah. So what started your fascination with all of this stuff?
It's kind of like a long and a short story at the same time. I started off like super not interested in this stuff. Until my mom kind of brought me to like a workshop with like new agey themes. So like they taught you about how different kind of crystals would like influence you or like improve different parts of your life, like how rose quartz is like, the typical whatever, like usual woo and like superstition stuff. And then after that, I just started getting really fascinated with like stuff that I wasn't previously exposed to. So I would spend so much time in like bookstores reading up about it. And then it just kept growing from there.
Like if you were in a bookstore, I would find you in like the new age section.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So
like holding a bunch of tarot cards because I couldn't choose which artwork I wanted.
This one's prettier than this one.
Yeah.
But this is pink. All right. Well, I guess the question of the evening is, do you believe in ghosts?
Ooh, that's a really loaded question.
Okay.
It's been a really long journey, like a personal journey of like figuring out what exactly it is like I believe in or like what kind of like spirituality I wanted to pursue. So at the moment, I do not.
Okay. Fair enough.
I would prefer to live my life free of superstition.
Mm-hmm.
And like so everything outside of things that I can explain, I'll just say like, it's just not explainable at the moment.
Well,
yeah.
But that's a very accepting way of thinking about it.
Yes, because, we don't know everything. And I don't want to assume like things aren't possible because we only know like 0.1% of like
the whole everything of
everything. Yes.
Fair enough. But like, when was the first time you had a creepy encounter, or what's like the earliest thing you can remember?
Okay, there are lots of little things, when you're a kid, things really creep you out, like
bump in the night.
Yeah, like creaks in the floorboards and all that stuff. But I think the most intense thing for me was the sequence of like blessings at my house. When you move into a new house.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 5 at the time, and then it was time for the house to get like blessed and stuff. But we didn't use like a typical priest or the usual like Catholic process of doing things with like incense and prayers and stuff. We got like one of my mom's like spiritual advisors, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really weird at first because there was like offerings and like rice and oils and all that stuff. We made like an altar. Like apparently it was supposed to get us into good favors with the spirits that already live in the house. So it was supposed to like protect the house or something.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we had to expel the negative or like the volatile spirits inside the house. So I think the most interesting part from when I was part of that whole thing is that the spiritual advisor would actually like throw like the holy water thing that was like placed inside like a weird squirty bottle with like a cross on it. Yeah. So she like throw the water against the walls, the floor, and all like different parts of the house. The usual like how a priest would like throw holy water during mass. So I was following around, just like, I was being a kid, so I was also throwing holy water. I was like, yeah, like making our house great and pretty and then like clean. And then at the time, of course, I super believed in it.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was like the influence of the people around me to make me think that every time there was water that hit the wall or the floor, there would be different shapes of like little creatures and stuff that apparently looked like they were like crawling out of the house. So, so they're like, your reaction is so cute. So for example, the spiritual advisor would like throw water against the wall.
Okay.
And then the water wouldn't be just like a straight line. It would be actually, it'd be like a full on silhouette of a creature, or like, it had like arms and legs, sometimes a little hat.
A little what?
Like a little like hat thing. Yeah, it was very
so it was like
strangely detailed.
Humanoid-ish?
Human-esque, yeah.
Human-esque? But like what other creatures, forms would pop up?
They were a lot of them were humanoid looking. There were ones that had very long legs, and there were ones that were very small.
Okay.
So it was strange because like you would throw like, you know, the water, and then the same amount would come out every time.
Yeah.
But then the shapes would like spread out and like look
different.
Very like look almost like it was like intentionally painted to be a shape.
Huh.
So, or all around the house, you'd see like things trying to crawl up out of the walls, like things on the floor. Like,
so you would like throw holy water at a wall, and then it would crawl upwards?
No, it wouldn't actually move.
Okay.
Although I think I would have screamed and freaked out. But it looked like the way the water landed would look like a creature that was trying to escape.
Huh.
So that was pretty strange.
So, but like, did the spiritual advisor say anything about that?
She did. She was like, "Oh, look, they're trying to run."
But
in like Tagalog, she said it in like a really like chill, like she's seen it before, and she was very used to it.
There they go.
Yeah, like I'm doing my job.
Well, that's working.
Yeah. So, of course, when you're like a little kid, that's like pretty like half kind of like, oh my God, that's so awesome. And then the next is like, holy crap, there's so many things that I can't see that might hurt me.
Right.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So like you got your house blessed and you were supposed to, you made like a little altar and made offerings?
Yeah. That was like a strange step because, you know, like when you're cleansing your house, like I feel like in Catholic things, you don't really have like rice and oils and candies and stuff.
Candies?
Yeah. Sweets.
Huh.
Like, I don't know. I think it might be a Filipino thing, like a Filipino superstition thing.
No, like I've heard this before, like people making offerings. Like you know that story where some people would, before building a house or starting construction, they would like offer a chicken or a pig or a goat or something. We do not condone the harming of animals on the show. Please don't. But I've heard people who still do that. And
yes,
these are not like people you would expect to be superstitious. Like when they're putting up a high-rise building, they they still do these things.
I had a friend actually tell me that they still practice it even in other countries.
Do they?
Yeah. So like apparently it didn't draw the line at animals actually. I mean like the bigger the project, the bigger the sacrifice had to be. So like he told me that apparently there were documented cases of children disappearing.
Oh my Jesus Christ. No!
So that's really messed up. So I don't know.
Oh my God.
Pretty. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
That's a lot more
really
horrific than anything I've ever talked about on this show. Like, don't do that to children.
And animals.
And animals. But, that's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, like I haven't really come across any real proof yet. But, you know, why would they leave proof?
Right. Yeah. All right. Well,
sorry.
No worries. So you said your mom was like super into this stuff. Did other stuff happen? Or like, did you have any other experiences with your mom? Like kind of being around her?
There were kind of a lot because her group kind of got bigger and smaller and then people started coming in and out. And then there was this time where she had a friend who was really, really like involved in like, you know, cleansing houses and, you know, helping people with like supernatural problems, like children who wouldn't get better, that kind of stuff. So I was told by my mom about her close friend at the time who would like do exorcisms and all that stuff. So I think I have to mention that there was this one time he went to Iloilo, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a video of him walking around the place. And then it was like raining at the time. And then they reported that there was
who walking around the place?
Of my mom's friend, yeah.
Okay.
So they wanted to document that whole thing that he was doing to help this one child that was apparently sick for so long. So he came into the house and started blessing the house. And then apparently like the neighbors heard that there was something happening at this one kubo like house. So like the camera crew was following him around. And then he was like weirded out. How come like people are kind of like not friendly and stuff here? And then he noticed, so he was just like doing his job. He tried to bless the child and all that stuff and tried to like, just take care of the kid. And then when he was done, he reviewed the footage. And apparently none of the people like that were standing outside the kubo were getting wet under the rain.
So it was raining and they weren't getting wet by it? What does that mean?
I'm not sure. But it's something that's kind of like, I actually saw the video and they were really like, kind of like sullen and just like kind of standing there watching what he was doing. And then, so it was really raining. And it was
super, super raining hard.
Yeah, and then they were just like staring at the people who were visiting and then just not doing much.
That's pretty creepy.
Yeah. Well, I would assume they would have have some sort of supernatural effect to not be able to get wet under rain. And then what are they doing? Like guarding this one child who's been very sick for so long.
Like they didn't want him to be there?
Kind of.
But why would...
Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to mention this one creepy story because it's something I also want to figure out what happened.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought it's kind of like a cool thing because I've never heard anybody talk about creatures not being affected by like nature.
That's super interesting. And also like kind of a nice superpower to have given the rainy days.
Commute. You won't ever get wet.
You just be like, I'm going to walk everywhere and not get wet. Sorry.
So it also like kind of like ignited my curiosity as well. Because like we usually hear stories about manananggas and like, the typical like capra stuff. And I'm like, what else could be out there that we don't even know about?
And it's just like slightly insidious.
Yeah.
Like just very slightly.
Yeah. But they could be like really menacing too. I don't know.
Well, okay. So we've kind of talked about experiences with your mom and through your mom, but have you ever had anything happen to yourself directly?
A couple of things, yeah. More than a couple of things. Oh, can I mention? Can I mention something?
Yeah.
My mom actually went to a exorcism of sorts. Like it was more like a healing exorcism type of thing.
Okay.
So, sorry, I guess exorcism isn't the right term. It was like a
cleansing.
How do I say? I think I can say it in Tagalog better. Like, I don't know. Someone put a curse on somebody and then they wanted to help that person like get released from that kind of curse.
Oh, we release you from your binds.
Yeah, kind of like that. So
please cut that out.
Please don't. There was a guy who's been really sick for like, just like kind of like depressed and sick. And like, no matter what he did, like he went to so many doctors and nothing was working. So they decided to go, my mom and her friend decided to go visit this person. And then they did the usual thing, like oils and healing things. And then they even took a video where she had like a towel, like that she blessed or whatever Balario people do. So she puts this towel on this guy's back. So I thought it was just like regular, like, making you feel better. Like, a warm towel feels nice.
Like a Japanese restaurant.
And then she peels the towel off the guy and cockroaches started falling out.
Excuse me, what?
And cockroaches started falling out of the guy's back. But then there were no marks on his back. But then, of course, the towel was just like open. He went like that. It was kind of like a magic trick. Except they were all like live cockroaches that were coming out.
Ew.
And then he did it a couple more times.
And more came out?
Yeah. And then after that, like they kind of like did more of a ritual, like blessing with candles and all that stuff. And then 2 days later, the guy was fine.
Cockroaches, though.
I know.
That's...
And you can't fix it with Bygone.
No, it's like, what do? Use Bygone as like your body spray? Like, what? But it was coming from inside him, or
that's what that's what it looked like. Because he'd put that, and then he'd peel the towel, and then because like when before the guy peeled the towel, there was nothing
on his back.
So like, where did it come from?
And it was like directly on the guy's skin. Was there a shirt?
No, directly on the guy's skin. So the guy was like just sitting on a chair inside a room.
Oh, that's so weird. And like, what was he sick of? Or like, was he ill? Was he
he kind of looked like he was malnourished.
Right, like wasting
like
away.
Gray skin, that kind of stuff.
Did you guys know what the curse was or who did it? Or like...
those details I wasn't privy to.
Right.
Like I was a child. They were like, "Oh, protect her, but show her what happens when someone curses somebody." Yeah. I think they weren't very clear on what to censor with me when I was a bit younger.
Yeah. Sure, we can show the cockroaches coming out of the guy's back.
But we won't tell you why they got cursed. Sure. Maybe it was rated R. So I think you were asking me about personal horror stories?
Yeah, like if anything had happened to you personally or directly to you.
Okay. So there was one more thing that happened in my house. This was shortly after the blessing. I was around maybe 5 or 6, 7, around that age where you're just kind of like a young, like carefree child. So at first I thought I was just seeing things because, when you're a kid, you're just like, what's that? And then you just kind of like brush it off. And then I realized I kept seeing this one figure near, like next to our tree. Like the biggest tree in our house is like a duhat tree in the corner, like a very rich, like foliage corner. So nobody can really stand around that tree or anything. So so I would like imagine someone standing there. I'd be like, whatever. It's just like my mind playing tricks on me. But I kept seeing this person, and I could see this person even at night. Like kind of like, it wasn't like a clear photo. It was kind of like a blurry white thing. Like when you have like...
it's like a figure.
Yeah. Kind of like a creepy little child figure.
Yeah. Sure. Great.
Same height as me.
Oh,
Around the same height as me too. So it wasn't particularly threatening. It was just...
There?
Yeah. It was just kind of like hanging around the tree.
Okay.
And then that tree, so I didn't think much of it. And then that tree eventually became my like swing set. That's where we set up my swing set. And then that's where I had my Dionne. So like after class, that's where I'd spend most of my time because I love playing outside in the garden. And then just one day when I was like, I spent a really long time outside because I think I was like upset with my brother or something. Anyway, I spent so much time on the swing and I was singing and I just like played with my hair. I think it was summer vacation. So I like bleached like parts of my hair. I had like gold streaks.
Wait, as a 7-year-old?
Yeah, my cousin owned a salon, so they let me play with my hair. Yeah, and then I suddenly got sick, and I didn't understand why because I wasn't like running in the rain, the usual. So my mom thought it was nothing at first, and then it wasn't getting any better. So it was like 2 weeks of just being really like feverish and all that stuff.
2 weeks,
yeah. So. I mean, they brought me to the doctors and they said, like, just give her this medication, give her this, and it'll improve because there's no signs of any infection or anything. So nothing was working. And so my mom gave up on like the traditional stuff and being connected to the like new agey people. She brought me to one of her friends. Okay. And this is the same friend with the cockroach story, actually. So what they did is that they put me in a room with nothing there. So I was just on like a chair in the center of the room, and I was like, "What?
That's creepy in itself."
Can I cuss? I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" Like I was like, "This, like, what are they doing to me? What are they like? I'm just sick. I just want to go home and sleep."
Right.
And then, so my mom's like spiritual advisor friend comes in and like starts asking me questions. How are you? How are you feeling? Have you experienced anything weird lately? And I was like, no, I just been playing in the garden a lot. And then my mom recalled me telling her about the white thing I saw in the garden. Which, of course, like my mom was like, it's nothing. You just seen stuff. Because, when you're a kid, your mom doesn't want to say, yeah, there's so many spirits around the house.
And when you said that, when your mom had recalled that,
that's when her friend actually started to like, she was like, okay, good. And then she started bringing out her little kit with like oils and things to bless me with and paper. And then she brought out this paper. She put some oil on it. And then, I don't know, there was like lots of things. And then she started talking to me. And then suddenly things go dark for me.
What do you mean things go dark? Like memory wise?
Not memory wise, like vision wise. So, and I was like, I remember sitting, you guys can't see, but my hands were on my lap.
Yeah.
So like palms up. And I was just like, kind of like, they were like kind of half clawed, like upwards.
Like relaxed.
Yeah, relaxed though. And then that woman started talking to me. She was just like, oh, who are you? Why are you here? And I was like, why are you asking me that? But at first I was like, why are you asking me that? But I couldn't answer. I couldn't move. I was like, what's happening? And then apparently my hands started like, kind of like, it looked like I was trying to count. So they gave me a pen and paper, and then they put my hands together, and then I started scribbling some stuff.
Like, they have a term for that, right? Like
an auto
writing thing?
Yeah, I guess. And then started writing stuff like, I'm not sure, I didn't get to see the actual paper, but they said it mentioned my hair, like me playing in the garden and singing, because I was like, Disney princess back then. And then so they kept asking her questions. Did you like her hair? Do you want to play with her? Do you want to that kind of stuff? So apparently that one little spirit girl just wanted to be my friend.
Well, that's kind of nice in a weird way.
Yeah, but kind of like, why would you make me sick?
So why did she make you sick though?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just like a byproduct of wanting to be
with you,
with me or something.
Or you.
Yeah. And then, so she started saying, you can't do that. You can't, you can't do like that. You can't do that to a child. She needs to live her life. You've been making her sick. You've been doing this, and this. And then we started asking her for stuff. Like, since they had her, this is the weird part. Still a little mad about my mom, about my mom doing this. She was like, oh, ask her about stuff. Like, maybe she knows something about the future. Or
no.
So they're asking, this is really bad. But they were like, oh, ask her about numbers.
Like money? So
they were like lotto. That's my life.
Are you serious? They were asking.
And then my fingers started going crazy, apparently, like weird, like Naruto levels, like weird signage.
Stuff, as if you were like, doing that math computation thing with your fingers.
Yeah. And then they tried to take down as many numbers as they could. And then
sorry, I just rolled my eyes.
Like if you have access, like, I don't know. No. But if I had like a young child who was like sick from a supernatural reason, I wouldn't think about Lotto. Anyway.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. That's why. It was so long, but I'm still kind of mad.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So. And then, so at the end of all of that, they tried to get it, since the spirit or whatever was very eager to communicate, they kept asking her other questions. What's it like? Who are you with? Is there anything else we should be scared of? You have to leave the house because it's not the place for you anymore. That kind of stuff.
Was it a spirit or like an elemental?
I think that the second thing.
Right.
I think that's what they said to me, the last part. So yeah, they just said, they asked her to leave and leave me. And then I realized while they were talking to that person for the longest time, I realized I wasn't actually me. I could see myself like doing all those weird hand movements, but I was like next to myself. Like I was like sitting next to myself. I don't know. It's kind
you
of
were
hard
like
to
out of bodying.
I guess so.
It's like you could observe yourself, but you weren't doing it. But
yeah, I wasn't doing it. Yeah, I was like, I'm not trying to move my fingers anymore. Why are they moving? And then I was like right now I'm like sitting,
like almost like beside
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
But that's such a funny way to show your intent for friendship.
Yeah, but yeah. I can't speak for her.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, it really is kind of like strange. Like if you wanted to like befriend someone, you wouldn't try to, it sounds funny, like enter someone.
Like possess someone.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It seems like a really shaky storyline for a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so after all of that, like after all of that happened.
Oh yeah.
You just got up and went home?
Yeah. Basically, after they did that whole thing with the drama with the oils and the numbers and the writing and the...
Did they get their lotto numbers?
Nobody won any money, so...
Oh. She was on your side.
Yeah. Yeah, after that, I got home, I sat down and the fever was gone.
That very night?
Same day, yeah.
Well, great.
Yeah. And then I went to school.
And
like nothing happened.
Did you ever see that sort of figure again?
No. Not anymore.
No.
Which is why I think that maybe like a lot of it is also psychological and then that you're like getting tricked into it. But like, dude, I don't have answers to anything.
I don't have the answers to explain that either. But I mean, whatever works.
Yeah. Like, it could be like, like the weird oil and like ritualistic process of everything could just be like a good tangible way to treat something else.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but that's so interesting. Okay. Did anything else like happen to you?
There was one time, though, I was a bit older. I think I was a preteen. And then my dad decided to bring us to Baguio for the weekend. And Baguio was like the favorite place for people to tell and collect ghost stories for themselves. So we ended up in this one kind of like B&B style place that used to be an old house. Very typical of Baguio. I forgot the name of the place, but I think it closed down shortly after we stayed there because it was like really old now.
Okay.
Kind of like lived out its life. I don't know why my dad chose that place. But so after the whole day of like touring and like, doing Baguio stuff, eating strawberries, mushrooms, all that kind of stuff. We get back to the hotel, get ready for bed. And then while I was in bed, I thought I saw my mom walking around, like cleaning up. I was like, weird. And I was like, but my mom's right next to me. And then I realized this lady had a different haircut. She had like a weird, like bob, like fluffy bob haircut. I was like, that's so weird. And then I realized like, and I thought I was dreaming because my mom was like sleeping right next to me. And then I was like, oh, this is weird. And then after a while, I just kept watching. I was like, wait a minute, I'm awake.
So then, this went on for a while.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe like 5 minutes of me just kind of like looking at the room and then looking there. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, with this person in the room?
Yes.
And it was like your family in the room?
So like I was at the bed and then to go like 3 to 4 feet away, there was like a kind of like sala, like living room area and with a big armoire of sorts.
Great.
Yeah. Those creepy like closets.
Yeah.
Narnia type closets.
Mirrors.
Yeah. Yeah. Old furniture.
Right. And so this lady just pops up.
It was just kind of like living her life, cleaning up and doing stuff around the house. Yeah. I feel like it, like in movies, like ghosts who live in a loop.
Oh.
That kind of thing. It was kind of like that vibe. And then, of course, when I realized I was also awake, I started freaking out and I started shaking in my bed. And I was like, what the hell? And I was trying to wake my mom up. But she was like, she sleeps like a log, so it didn't work. So I just kind of like held on to the covers and just kept like firing. I just kept thinking like, oh, she doesn't even notice me. It's not going to happen.
So she wasn't like noticing you at all?
None of us, yeah. It's like she was just living in her house. Right. And then, so I just like, hold on to the covers and say like, it's nothing. She's not going to do anything. Like what can she do really? Like
clean up.
Yeah. Like put my luggage away. And then
thank you.
Yeah. And then, and then after a while, I realized she starts walking towards the bed. And then she sleeps right on top of me.
Excuse me, what?
Like she sits down and then she like sleeps right down on top of me. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I was like freezing, like in Baguio weather, not because of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what do I do? Do I run? And like, it's like, she's not here.
Wait, but what do you mean she sleeps right on top of you? Like you can see her above you?
No, like she really just like kind of like lands on top of me and then she's gone.
It's like she went to bed and she laid down and it was right where you were.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was it.
And that was kind of it, yeah. And then I was just like so exhausted, and I just like ended up hugging my mom. Like
I can't handle this.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, so scared. Like getting up was out of the question. I was like, because everything else was dark. So like, why would I get up if I'd probably just bump into another one of them? So I just hugged my mom, and then like eventually I get exhausted enough from fear to fall asleep. And then the next day, my mom starts like making sure we were about to leave. I was like, God, I'm about to leave. And then my mom starts cleaning up, making sure we didn't forget anything. And then she goes, like, she taps like different surfaces around the room.
Why?
And then I should just make sure because I was like, messy kids.
Oh, okay. So like, just like checking.
Like checking if we left anything behind. Because we had like stuff on top of the closet thing and stuff on the table. Anyway, she starts like checking if we forgot anything. And then she finds like a little piece of paper on top of the closet.
Okay.
And it was a photo of the woman who I saw.
Oh.
So and I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was just like really happy to leave.
Just like, let's go now,
yeah,
please.
Yeah, I was like, let's just go home.
Did you tell your mom that you had seen her?
Yes, but I told her when we were outside already. in the car.
Good call.
Because what if like, oh yeah, that was her, and she's like, what? Like, what if that
Like,
ghost
that's
suddenly?
me.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That's like a
But
really
also
cute
scary.
way to imagine it, but maybe in the moment not so cute.
Yes, when you're like, I don't know, preteen, just trying to enjoy Baguio. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like you imagine it, like you think it's just like, oh, it's just me like imagining things because it's Baguio and you expect to have a ghost story.
Yeah.
But then if there's like a concrete, like tangible thing to like associate with what you saw, then it's a bit more
like, what was that?
Yeah.
Like, because you could have just said that, you maybe were dreaming and it was a dream within a dream, Inception style, you know. But then that whole picture at the end of it all
is a lot.
It's a lot. Do you have any other stories that you want to share?
Well, when I was a kid, I at least believed that I could see ghosts.
Okay.
I think the most recent one was actually when I was older. I think I was 23, and I decided to visit India because my dad had just passed away.
Okay.
And then I realized, and then we had to stay at my cousin's house in Goa, which is our province over in India. Of course, I was like, just like grieving, just trying to make sure we get our orders, like our affairs in order and all that stuff, like papers and that kind of stuff. And then, so we stayed in like a condo that my cousin doesn't normally stay in, but it used to be an old building that was like renovated and like adjusted and stuff. So, at night I went to get like a glass of water. So I had to walk down this like really long hallway and then to the kitchen. And then when it was time to go back to the hallway, of course, I thought I saw something like flutter at the side of my eye. And I was like, that's nothing. And then I go back to bed, right? And then,
are you alone?
No, I was with my family. My family seems to always be asleep. And then, so after, if you drink a lot of water, you eventually have to go. So I get up and then I open the door to like the hallway thing. And then where I saw that little white flutter of whatever. I saw a man hanging from the ceiling.
What? What do you mean?
So he was like kind of like swinging back and forth. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I just kind of like stared at it for like a half second and then just closed the door back.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work for me.
So I just kind of like held it in for a while. Because like there's like a man in like a traditional like kurta white thing, like Indian garb. And then I just kind of like sucked it up and just stayed in the room until morning.
Yeah, no, but that's not peeing is more important. Like, sorry. The urge to pee was not great enough to have to deal with that.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was just swinging from like the
ceiling. Yeah.
And you could see that it was a guy?
Yeah.
And
he was like really tall and like he was in like, I mean like, it could have been a woman, but he was in male clothes, I assumed. I don't know.
And it was just swinging there. It wasn't looking at you.
No movement aside from it like swinging.
Or like addressing you or whatever.
No. I feel like it was just like hey, this happened.
How quick did that happen?
Maybe like a second or two. I was just like...
You're just like, nah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a photo perfect like image of someone. You could just tell what he was wearing and it was kind of like a blurry moving photo kind of effect. And then, just a swinging from the neck. And
you could see a face and everything?
I did not care to look at the face.
Fair enough.
I did not want to put myself through that.
Good call.
Yeah.
Very good call. And you just went back to sleep.
I tried to, yes.
Tried to.
Yeah. How could you though when you realize there's something outside
like,
there?
I'm so impressed. How do you not like just freak out and wake up everything in the room? Everyone in the room, rather.
I think it's just the general grooming of my mother. If you've gone through so many things when you're like, I was always brought to like exorcisms and house blessings and all of these like strange things when I was younger. So you kind of get desensitized at one point. But it's still, like when it's you confronting something that creepy, it's still, it's still jarring.
Yeah. Well, you had this one story earlier where you were talking about you being brought to an exorcism and you were like right by the door.
Oh, yeah. This was actually, I don't know, in somewhere near a college, somewhere like, it was like a college dorm that was kind of like surrounded by grassland. It wasn't a very windy night or anything. But the same like group of people that my mom used to hang around decided to help this one place. They weren't paid, by the way. They were just like really just helping out.
They were helping the place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they were asked to help like clear out the house of like evil spirits or whatever. Because apparently they've been experiencing lots of supernatural things, like things falling over, chairs sliding across the room, you know, the usual like poltergeist-esque happenings. So at first I was like super excited and things started to drag. And I was like, why are we doing this? I'm so bored. So, I was a teenager, so I wanted to like talk to my friends and hang out. On top of that, it was like a 3-hour drive because of all the traffic.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, after all of the blessing and all of the like house cleansing that they did, I was standing right by the door, just texting my friends. And then I hear my mom's kind of like group of friends, like spiritual advisor, like cleansing, new agey friends, say, you guys should leave now, like in Tagalog, in like a really dramatic.
By you guys, she means you and your mom?
No. Sorry. He said, you guys meaning the evil spirits.
Oh, like get lost.
You evil spirits have to leave now. Of course, it sounds more powerful and punchy in Tagalog, but I can't remember verbatim.
Okay.
So I was just standing right by the door, and all of a sudden, right after he says that, there's a huge gust of wind that goes past me. And I was like, where the hell did that come from? There aren't even any electric fans or like...
From the inside?
From the inside of the house.
To the outside?
To the outside of the house.
Well, yeah, duh. There's no way to go. But, okay. And then?
That was a pretty like short story, kind of long and short story, because it was like a... Yeah. And then after that, the house seemed like a lot brighter and less heavy. Parang it was kind of like less kulob, if I can say that. And then, yeah, I think that way they got their desired result after that.
That's so interesting. I mean, it's like, I guess it really does something to a place, and, whatever it is, if it's a ghost or energy or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you just like ask nicely, or maybe, I don't know what they do to make them skedaddle, but if once they do, it helps, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
I mean, as long as we're not offering chickens.
Oh my, I think there was actually a chicken offer that day. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it varies depending on how serious something is.
Like, it goes up the gradient, like from chicken to like...
Children, I'm just joking.
No.
I'm just joking. Like, yeah, but I think chicken is the most common.
Yeah, because, I mean, can you eat the chicken after?
No, you have to throw it away.
Well, what a waste. I mean, that would have made... you have to throw it away. Fine.
Well, if you knew a chicken was like what, it was filled with bad juju, or like it was like,
the bad juju goes into the chicken?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think that was the gist of it, that it's been used for like blessing or like as a sacrifice, so you can't benefit
so
from
it's like
it.
For them and not for you.
Yeah.
But you could have had like some good nilaga or something. I don't know.
Tinola. Sacrificial tinola.
Well, anyway, thanks so much for joining me tonight, Dionne. Is there anything you want to tell people about? Maybe plug something?
Well, I'm not super active at the moment, but I am on Instagram. You guys can follow me. I am at Coppertongue. You can check out my food styling work there. You can talk to me there if you need help with any graphic design issues or just want to talk. I'm a friend to everyone.
Cool. And so I've been your Scaredy Cat host, Antoinette, and this has been Grimcast Manila. I'll see you next time. This has been Grimcast Manila. For updates and new episodes, follow us on facebook.com/Grimcast Manila. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, as well as stream episodes on YouTube. Grimcast Manila is produced, recorded, and distributed by Big Baby Studios.